Before I left Cape Town in my caravan, I hadn't had any experience in caravanning and very little at camping. I had bought an old boat when I was in America and fixed that up and lived on it in a marina for 4 years. The boat was in very neglected condition when I first saw it, but I saw potential and I needed a project, so I bought it. I had been living in Atlanta, in Georgia, for 6 years, and I was sick of living in a big city, so I moved onto the coast and moved onto the boat, which was moored in South Carolina, on the Intracoastal Waterway, which stretches from New York down to the Florida Keys and is 3,000 miles long. I paid $4,000 for the boat and immediately started fixing it up. The seats were in terrible condition. Something had been chewing on the seat material and really destroyed it. So I started out with this and ended up with this, which looks much better. The rest of the boat also needed a good makeover, and I put in a good burst of fixing for about 2 months and built a stainless steel frame for the canvas top, cutting and bending all of the pipes right next to the boat on the dock. I'd found a boat canvas business a few miles down the road and bought some surplus stainless steel pipes and fittings from them at a fraction of the normal cost. This taught me that you don't have to just go out and pay high prices for parts. Have a look around, and often you can find the same thing or something in just as good condition at a lot less cost. I found an old sewing machine under some seats in the boat. Surprisingly, it worked, and it worked well, and so I bought some canvas and sewed up all of the canvas that you see on the boat myself, sitting on my newly covered boat seats and having a great time, looking out into the marina, watching dolphins and people and boats go by, and just loving the adventure. I did all of the boat work myself and spent about $2,000 on the renovation, both inside the boat and outside, and I hired a mechanic who checked out the engines and did a few repairs, which cost more or less around another $1,000. So I had a 33-foot powerboat that I was living on permanently, and my home had only cost $7,000 and was in quite good condition now. I lived in marinas which charged $475 per month, including electricity and water, with lovely facilities like tennis courts, swimming pools, a self-service laundry, and lovely grounds that I could use whenever I wanted to. It was a new life for me, and I loved that experience, parking the boat in a marina for a couple of years and discovering the area that you're in. So I was pretty comfortable that I could work things out along the way when I took off in the caravan. I did have a basic plan about the route though. I would move from caravan park to caravan park along the southeastern edge of Africa and move up to the KwaZulu-Natal region. Then I'd go north into northern South Africa and onward into Africa itself. I spent at least 1 month in each caravan park to take advantage of the monthly rate that they offer. There are also some pretty good seniors rates. My monthly caravan park rents generally come to between 1,600 Rand and 3,000 Rand each month and includes electricity and water. That's very inexpensive living, and I go from one beautiful park to another. The parks are usually on very large pieces of ground, and I can walk wherever I want to, ride my bike all over, fish in the river if there is one, take my canoe out, and generally use all of the facilities as if I owned the ground, without having to cut the lawn or deal with gardeners and housekeepers and suffer the accompanying expenses and frustrations, or pay property taxes to the municipality every year. I find that the less I spend on rent, petrol, electricity, and general living expenses, the less I have to earn to live. I live very well, being very comfortable in the caravan, and eating very well and watching whatever entertainment I want to watch on television or on the internet. I think I've discovered the secret to life. There are so many alternative ways of living which are cheaper and much more fun than living in a house, and I don't think I'll ever go back to ordinary living and the weight that puts on your shoulders. As I write this, I've traveled about 1,000 kilometers, which is about 600 miles, from Cape Town in about 2.5 years, which is quite slow moving. I'll stay in a region for between 1 and 6 months if I like the area, or I may even spend 2 to 3 months at a caravan park if I really like it. But I don't often spend more than a month at one park, as there are other parks and other places to see with other features and people and things of interest. I plan to spend about a year or two in KZN and about 2 years going from KZN into the north of the country, but who knows, it may take longer or I may move a bit faster. After a few years in the north, I'll go over to some of the other countries like Botswana, Malawi and Zambia, which I believe are beautiful places with lovely people. But I'll pretty much just follow my nose. The countries that I visit will depend on what I hear about those countries when I approach them. If there's a civil war or some sort of unrest going on or threatening, I'll probably avoid that country. So the planned route is around South Africa and then into some of the other southern African countries for the next 5 to 7 years. My little cat travels around with me and she's great company. When she leaves this life, or when I've had enough of caravanning in South Africa, I plan to go back to America, buy a half school bus, the little yellow one, and fit that out as a home and travel around the northern part of the USA, going to hot air balloon shows and military air displays, which I love, and then into Canada for 6 or 7 years. I've always wanted to go to Canada. Or perhaps I'll buy an old barge in Europe and fix that up and live on it. Barge living on rivers is free in most parts of Europe and the UK. There's no rent to pay. And with a few solar panels, you can have all of the entertainment and comforts that you need. I've found that getting old doesn't mean that you have to sit around doing nothing, waiting for your kids to visit, as so many people do. Get out, do something enjoyable, and have a great old age. Your kids will appreciate you more. So if you like watching the adventure, keep watching and press the subscribe button and ring the little bell to be informed of the new videos that I release when I release them.